You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith.
Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Tuesday, August 27th, 2019. This week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we are answering an important question. Why do we need God? Yesterday we talked about how God is the one that loved us into being, how his unique love for us forms our personality, and how the only way that we are ever going to be able to know who we really are is through a relationship with God. Today, we're going to talk about another reason why we need God, and this is simply because God alone is able to save us from our sins. Today, we are celebrating a great saint. Today is the feast day of Saint Monica, and she is a great example to us for how we really do need to believe that God is the one that will save not only our souls, but the souls of all people, including those whom we love. So a little bit about Saint Monica. Saint Monica was a Christian in the early church. She lived in the northern part of Africa. And although we don't know a ton about Saint Monica, we know a lot about Saint Monica's son, Saint Augustine, whose feast day we celebrate tomorrow. Now, Saint Monica was still a great saint in her own right because she was Christian, but her husband was not. And for a long time, her son, Saint Augustine, was not either. Both her husband and her son lived very sinful lives. They were not only rejected God, but they got into all sorts of sinful behaviors. Saint Monica probably tried to talk to them about God, but more than that, she put her faith in God, that he alone is the one that could convert these men and change them not only into Christians, but into saints. She prayed diligently for them. She begged God to work on their hearts, to change them, and to make them into saints. And guess what? It was through her prayers that St. Augustine was not only converted, he became a priest and then a bishop and is known today as a great saint with many writings that we still refer to understand our faith. So through St. Monica, we can see that God is the one that can change not only our hearts, but the hearts of those around us. Now think about the people in your life. Maybe there's someone you know that doesn't believe in God, and maybe you have tried to talk to them about God. Maybe you've tried arguments or even showed them Bible verses or other arguments to help them believe in God. Well, a lot of times, these things don't work very well. We get into arguments, and we can even make someone dislike Christianity because we get so angry while we're arguing for the faith. Well, it just goes to show that St. Monica did it the right way. It is God alone that can change hearts. And it is a much better thing to do to pray diligently for those that need a conversion than to go and argue with them. Now, the reason why God alone can save us and change our hearts is because God alone is the one that was able to wipe away all of our sin. When Jesus Christ died on the cross, he offered up a sacrifice that atones. It means it erases all of our transgressions. Every time that we sin, it is like committing a crime against God. And we know what happens in this world if you commit a sin or commit a crime. If you commit a crime, you are oftentimes arrested, you are put on trial, and when you are found guilty, you are sent to jail. Well, the same concept applies to our relationship with God. When we commit a sin or a crime against God, we are held accountable for it, and we should face a punishment. The punishment for sin is hell. And yet, because God is the good judge, because he loves us more than we can ever understand, He sent Jesus to pay the price, to serve the punishment for us all, and wash away all of our sins. Therefore, Jesus has conquered sin and death, and he alone is the one that can come into someone's heart and convert them. He heard the prayers of St. Monica, and he converted St. Augustine. And it is a very good thing to also pray for the conversion of your own heart. We can all love God better. We all have sins that we are still struggling with. And so today we learn that we need God because he alone can save us from hell and convert our hearts and make us great saints like St. Monica and St. Augustine. And so, friends, my challenge for you today is to be like St. Monica, to pray for the conversion of those that need it. Think of those in your life that don't believe in Jesus or that have gotten really lazy in their faith. This is not a time to condemn or look down on people. Instead, it is a time to support them through prayer, to be their biggest cheerleader, to beg God to make them stronger and to love God more.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God intended you to be. A quick reminder to the Patreon members that you should head over to the Patreon community to download your child's and your activity for this week. For children, we have a beautiful puzzle that will help them reflect on what we've been talking about. And for adults, we have a very challenging guide for you that I hope will allow you to apply these thoughts directly to your own lives. For the direct link to the Patreon community, just check the notes for this podcast episode.